Hey, yo, hospitality, and welcome to another episode of our Schulering Hub podcast, Talking Hospitality. I am your host, Mauricio Schüler, and today I have a guest that has a unique habit. He turns his properties into number one on TripAdvisor. And I'm very curious to learn more on how he can achieve that. Welcome to the show, Naj-Dja Tien.
Hi, thank you for having me. Nice to be here, Mauricio.
It's a pleasure to have you here, Naj-Dja. We have been chatting lately, and you have an inspiring story, and I really wish to bring here to the industry itself, so to listen to your stories, and hopefully they get inspired and doing better in their properties as well.
Cool.
And that's all we want. I just love the way that you build your career, how you build yourself. And please, let's just share with our people, how did it all start?
How did it all start? Well, it's been a long career. I mean, it's been spanning over 30 plus years, but it started with a dream. I once, when I was a really small boy, saw some video of Disneyland in America. And when in 1991, Disneyland opened up in Paris, I wanted to be there. And it happened to coincide with my training that I had to do from hotel school. And I had to move heaven and earth almost to get there, because Disney and Paris was not part of the training schedule. But that was my first opening, and Mickey Mouse was my first boss. And from there onwards, I kept following the GMs of starting at Disney. He went to Brussels, opened up a Renaissance hotel there, and he said, Naj-Dja, I want you to quit your job in Disney and come with me to Brussels. So I did, because I don't think many people get asked that. So I actually moved completely all the way to Brussels. And that was my second opening of a hotel. And I actually kept on doing openings after openings since that. I just kept on rolling into meeting owners that had buildings, and they said, hey, what are we going to do with it? And that's how I ended up in Prague doing not the real opening, but just the after opening of Naj-Dja's hotel. And my God, this is already 23 years ago. I was supposed to be here for a weekend. I'm still here.
So that's amazing. You came for a weekend and you stayed 23 years. It's like one thing that we like to learn is what kind of values actually made you to stay in hospitality, because hospitality is quite unique when it comes to the human side. And what made you fall in love with hospitality?
In Holland, I'm Dutch. In Holland, we would say that it was spoon-fed by my parents. And I grew up in the restaurant business, hospitality, and it was only a natural thing to go into the hotel business as well. And one of the things that I love is serving people. And I think this is also one of the things that kept me going all the time, because when I had people around me and inside my parents' restaurant when I was still young, they asked me to help, of course. So I was a waiter at a young age, and I continued being a waiter a big part of my career. And I just love serving people and being with people. So, and honestly, opening up hotels, which is what I ended up doing, it is always a new project. You start from zero. The hotel is brand new. Everything is nice. And I just love doing that. So, yeah.
So let's talk about these achievements in Prague, because this is how you were introduced to me. Like when someone like Diana introduced you to me, she's like, he opened so many hotels in Prague and they are all number one on TripAdvisor. So you need to meet this guy.
Not all number one, but a few, yes.
Yeah. That's how she introduced us. That's the way. It's quite impressive, like what you managed to achieve. Yeah, it's not easy to get any one hotel as number one. And you got 4, is that right? 4 or 5?
3.
So, and you got 3. So what made these hotels become number 3? Because the only constant, I believe, between them was you. And you probably have some secret recipes there that helped you. What's the secret?
Well, I think that, first of all, you need to love what you are doing. That is the first thing. And I think when it comes to me, it goes way beyond just being on a payroll and receiving a monthly salary. When I went for these hotels, and the first hotel that I opened up, I could be myself. The owner said to me, Naj-Dja, this is your project. You do what you want. And I don't necessarily tend to do things let's say the normal hospitality way. I tend to think out of the box. And I think what I did most is put the guests that actually come and stay with me as number one priority. The second priority are the people that work with me. I wanted to have like-minded people that are maybe as business crazy as I am. And somehow if you put those things together and you really want the best for your guests, and this goes very far, Mauricio. I started to team up with Heston's beds, because if you open up a hotel, you might as well let your guests sleep in the best bed almost that you can buy in the world. And that is just one way of actually trying to set up a hotel that everything works. And the guests, they come in, they sleep really well, very nice breakfast, nice staff, and they go back home and they say, I don't know what happened, but this was amazing. And then they leave reviews online. And this is a constant, I think, with all the properties that I've done. And those 3 properties, they were excellent properties in hardware, in software, in services. And then people love it and they write down it on TripAdvisor. And if you keep outperforming the algorithm, then one day you end up number 1. So.
Yeah, but you told me once about an exercise, because this is probably what makes different. I hear a lot of hoteliers, a lot of managers saying that, you put your guests first, you put your staff second, and you put your product in your life. However, they can't achieve, because sometimes it's more about the talk, but they can't walk that talk. They don't know really what to do to achieve that synchrony between all the elements. And once you told me about an exercise, like a how I feel box, if I'm not wrong. Can you tell us a little bit more about this type of exercise and any other example that you have?
Right. Well, this is related to happiness at work. I was given a book once in my life, which is from a Danish author called Alexander Kjerulf. And the book is called Happy Hours 9 to 5. And until I read that book, I thought that I was really the crazy person in countries, in organizations, because I think completely different. And in this book, there was an exercise basically to make people feel okay with whatever mood they are in. If they're in a great mood, great. If they have a bad mood, it should also be good. Yeah, and I have the experience in many hotels that I used to work in that, you are in hospitality, you always need to smile. And when you have a bad day, it is not allowed. So what I did, I created 3 tubes. One was a happy tube, one was an unhappy tube, and the other one in the middle was, okay, I'm in between. And all my colleagues had a ball, a personalized ball. And when they came to work, they put the ball in one of the tubes. It's like, I'm happy today, or I'm not happy. And it went so far that being unhappy is absolutely okay. And if people were really unhappy because things happen in life, then we say, okay, you stay behind the scenes today. We don't let you, deal with guests or guest complaints or anything else because you don't feel well. And it was important to me that people could be themselves and that people could also think out of the box when it comes to guest service. Yeah, we cannot always smile. It is required in hospitality, but I think that as a manager, as an owner, as an opening manager, what I did, I think you need to tell the people that very clearly. And those exercises with those tubes, I had never seen it anywhere else. And I don't think after me, I don't think anybody ever did that. But I don't know.
Yeah,
something like that.
Well, it's really beautiful because it's really taking respect for the human side of each one of us, right? It's a beautiful exercise to let people grow by understanding that you respect them. So when they are okay, they will respect you and do the best that they can. They will perform at their best. So it's just such a beautiful example. of taking humanity first so you can achieve what you want to achieve. And I think that this is the main difference that I've been feeling since I've been talking to you. And one other thing that I learned from you, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that you are really into standard operation procedures, right? The SOPs and having that organized in your teams. How important are them for you?
Well, they are very important because I do believe that, good service, when you learn it in school, needs to be trained to the people that wanted to work with me. So if you don't know the standard operating procedures, then half of your organization is not working. I'm saying half because the other half are the people themselves. I'm also a big fan of hiring the right people. I always tried very hard to do that, like-minded people. And part of the magic is that they can be completely themselves. And if somebody makes a mistake, you can make many SOPs related to mistakes, but if people do that genuinely from the bottom of the heart and they say sorry, that is one thing. But very early on in my career, I discovered Macs, and the very first Mac was a Mac Mini that I bought, came with a wiki server, and wiki is related to Wikipedia, and I thought it was absolutely amazing to have all my central knowledge in a central place where people can just access it. And I set it up already many years ago, before all the cloud storage and everything else. And all my SOPs were in that wiki on that Mac Mini. Without standard operating procedures, you are not able to basically tell your story that you want to tell to your clients or to your guests. So you need it, and it's important.
That's amazing. And do you help hoteliers in organizing SOPs for themselves if they need?
I'm actually doing that right now. So, after a career of 30 years almost in hotel business, COVID played a big role in my life, and also a negative part. And I met an amazing person in the name of Jan Adamek, who is having his own company called Jan Hospitality. And together we are now consulting hotels, and standard operating procedures is part of that, because not everybody sees the importance of it. And I think that some people don't even know why you need the standard operating procedures. So
yeah, no, I met a lot of those. I met a lot of those. And now that you are consulting and getting more overall view of the industry, not your view of hospitality, but now you end up learning how other hoteliers that probably you wouldn't in another time work with in a full-time position, but now you're trying to help them maybe creating the business that they want to create. So now, Naj-Dja, that you've been consulting with other hoteliers and learning more about the business from other points of view that probably before you wouldn't even be exposed to, you're probably learning different ways and different views of hospitality. But one thing that I'm very curious is, what's the biggest challenges that the hoteliers that you're working with are having right now?
The biggest challenge is the COVID effect that it had on the hospitality industry. Staffing your properties with educated people is, I think, the biggest challenge right now. People that used to work in hospitality don't necessarily work there anymore after COVID. It's a volatile industry where most of the hotels were closed down, and people started to look elsewhere. So there's a new wave, of young children. My daughter is doing hotel school. She's 17 years old, but she is not ready yet for, the future hotels. And those people that are interested to work in hotels, they need to be trained. Hence, standard operating procedures come in. So I think that is a big issue right now, to get educated people that really, have a heart for the hotel business.
And a little bit about Jan Hospitality. What type of consulting you guys do to the hoteliers? How do you help them?
We do a very big, broad spectrum. We help them. We help investors to buy hotels. We help hoteliers to sell their hotels if that time has come. We do evaluation of their whole business from A to Z, financial evaluation. If things don't work, we help with marketing, we help with sales, we help with setting up standard operating procedures. I'm sure that in the future we will help as well with automating the hotel industry. So yeah, it's a very broad spectrum of where we can help. We have a big team of professionals that work with us. And yeah, this is something that currently we find out there's actually quite a lot of people that are interested in consulting and help.
That's great. And look, we're getting more towards the end of our chat, but there is our game here, our tradition, that is talk about the future of hospitality, and we let it go wild. Okay, Naj-Dja, here is to let the brain work out and stretch for as far as we can. We try not to go too far ahead because the world is really unpredictable right now, so we cannot get 15 years ahead. Nobody will know. But if we can get in a window of 5 to 10 years, and we could imagine like what the hospitality will look like, what would you think?
I think we cannot deny that computers, AI, automation is growing like crazy. So I cannot imagine hospitality industry not using any of it in the coming 10 years. I really hope that all the hoteliers will use all this automation to become way more empathetic to the clients and to really put the clients first. If you gain more time by automating tasks, use that time to actually spoil your guests rotten, and that is also through a human factor. So I believe very much that hotels become hubs in the future for not only a guest that wants to stay a night, but it might be a communal center where people come together, where the hotelier through technology is able to rent a room, rent maybe a space inside their hotel, maybe do something with short-term, like per hour sales of their premises. And yeah, again, I really do not hope, maybe that's another side of the story, that in the future robots will serve us and the humans are completely away, because that would be sad. But what I believe and what I hope is that the whole AI part of the current trending technology, it would be great if in the future you would be able to have an app for your phone where you do basically everything. You book, you automatically get suggestions related to where you want to go, what kind of theaters you want to visit, what is your favorite food, maybe even your pillow choice, and I think that would really help clients and guests to be spoiled a little bit more in the future.
That's a bright view, like we can wish that we keep that human side. I do hope, I believe that we're going to have a little bit of everything, right? Like, of course, that we'll have hotels, marketing, like all robotic, and we're going to have people that are going to love that. But yes, the luxurious of hospitality will be that human touch and having that face serving and having the time to spend, basically a guest, right? Having people come into your home. And being the host that loves to have people at home.
This is the base of everything. When I invite you in my home, I'm not going to stand behind the counter and say, "Hello, welcome to my home." So the idea of what hospitality is, and the industry is already moving away from that. You see very open spaces, reception desks are being opened up. Some hotels don't even have reception desks anymore. You can do people check in next to a fireplace, and so yes, I hope that trend continues, and that the human part is really going to take the forefront.
Let's wish together, Naj-Dja. Let's wish together.
I agree.
And now, how can our audience learn more about you, connect with you? Maybe they have some interest in learning what Young Hospitality is doing, and how can they connect with you?
Well, my name is quite unique. So if you Google me, Naj-Dja Tien, you come to LinkedIn, you come to Instagram, you come to Facebook, you come to Young Hospitality as well. So you can connect to any channel that is out there. And as far as I know, there is only one Naj-Dja Tien around. So it's quite easy to find me and to connect to me.
Awesome, Naj-Dja. I'll put anyway your links for our listeners to connect with you. It was a pleasure to have a chat with you again. Pleasure to bring your story. And I hope that we can connect more and more hoteliers with such powerful stories like yours and really inspire to make hospitality great again, right? If I can use that.
Well, you can. But yes, I agree, Mauricio. And thank you for inviting me for this podcast. And I look forward to see you soon again.
I'm looking forward to see you soon. Thank you very much, Naj-Dja. Schulering, thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.